Welcome to the Busy Being Born podcast with your hosts Kamande and Kigondu.
Yo, hey.
Bro.
Hey.
Oh man.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
Niko fiti sana. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Yes, sir. Let's do
2nd
this.
of May.
Man. Yeah. But it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Do you know at times we joke, but this time
it's been
it's
real,
actually
man.
been a
real.
while. It's probably
Hey.
like 2 months ago.
Man, we've been busy
Yeah.
and productive, hopefully.
Productive is good.
Yeah, productive
Yeah.
is good.
Nani Denzel alisema you can be busy and not progressive. I'm productive. Yeah, so I'm glad we've been. I'd like to think
it feels there is a lot of busyness.
Yeah.
Maybe not for me, like not the same levels of productivity, but maybe a good proportion. Maybe 90% of the busyness is productive.
That's all that matters, man.
Yeah.
That's a good balance.
Now, baby. Hey man, you've been out here.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
been out
We'll
here,
talk
man.
about this in the next episode on 10
Asante.
years of Prevail Presents.
For sure, bro.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Asante, man. Asante.
10 years.
Asante, man.
We'll talk about it. I remember talking about this maybe 11 years ago when you're thinking of the idea. We had a long conversation about it.
Yeah.
Now nimebuda mimi nitapush.
Yeah, man. And look at us
Man,
now.
and look at
man.
that.
It's been a scary journey, but I think Mother usema hizo ndiyo journeys tamu.
Yeah,
the longer route is definitely...
There's such a story in there. The ups and downs.
Bro, it's...
The breaks that you've been taking theoretically.
About that.
About
Sinajua
that.
hata sai niko break.
Hata sasa uko break, eh?
Yes, sir.
And how many shows are you on? How many shows are you directing, producing, acting on?
Well, episode 80.
Episode
80. Tuna jump
Fantastic,
in,
man. But you all right? You're
I
well?
am well. I am well. I could have slept better last night.
Same.
Yeah, but iko nini.
One of those days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
We do
But
this.
you're looking fresh. I love the haircut.
Oh yeah, asante bana. Yeah, wewe umefunika bana.
Too early for birds. Mimi kwa sababu haircut yangu ni the same. Kipara ilisha check in.
Onyesha tu.
Umemake peace.
And ilisha make peace.
Calligraph Jones.
Did I ever have like is there a point when I had not made peace? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think by the time it come nilikuwa okay na life vile iko.
Yeah.
So mimi nakuaga tu sawa.
Hapo nani Grace ameenda close up bana.
Sawa bana. Mimi inabamba sana bana.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
man.
my wife pendas it.
Good. But all in all uko fiti.
I'm great and grateful.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
but it's not about us today.
Yeah, it is not
Senior
about
for this
us,
episode
man.
at least.
Let's jump
We have
in.
a guest.
We have a
We
guest.
have a guest.
This is me eating time ndio nikumbuke swali zinaenda ngazi. Aya. It's been a minute.
Uendelee kusahau.
So aya. Tunaanza na
Are they brilliant?
Brilliance is the first one. Sindio?
Yeah,
so are they brilliant?
They are super brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Man.
I've checked them out na niko that.
Umeona eh?
Very
Uko
impressive.
na page ya Wikipedia.
Yes, that's where I'm at,
Guys.
That's where I'm at, bro. Brilliance.
Guys.
bro. Brilliance. Yes, sir. Are they representing the motherland?
Mazee kwanza in this age.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most important people representing and speaking and doing everything for the motherland, especially in technology. Tuko in the age of AI, and if you
This
don't have
is
people
true.
like her
Yeah.
doing their thing,
Yeah.
sijui mahali tuko. I think tunachwa tu nyuma anyway.
Yeah.
But I think because of her tunachwa nyuma sana.
Tuko safe.
Tunakata hatuachi nyuma. Hatuachi nyuma
Fantastic.
bana.
Goja mpaka in her dress, unaona vile
Yeah.
amevaa,
African.
na vile amedunga, everything representing the
African.
motherland.
And last but not least, are they busy being born?
That is the only reason they're here, man.
Yes,
That's the only
sir.
reason they've been on our list. They're busy being born, and they are a wonderful human being, wonderful friend. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is a pioneering technologist, community leader, and a fierce advocate for open source software. Her journey in the tech space has seen her build and collaborate on numerous projects that champion digital inclusion, civic empowerment, and social justice across the globe. From her early days as a volunteer to her current leadership as the Executive Director of Ushahidi and Chair of the Board of Creative Commons, she has scaled crisis response technologies to over 160 countries while co-founding Akira Chicks to empower the next generation of African women in tech. But beyond the global accolades, she's a really good friend that I have seen also build and nurture community at a friendship level. So she does not just do it at the global scale. she does it at home as well. She is a friend who is always organizing themed meetups, checking up on her group of friends, and being some glue that holds us together. She is wonderfully married to a dear friend, Sam, and is an admirably committed mom to 2 girls that are already as focused, kind, and brilliant as their mom and dad. I've come to admire her and her style of doing things that might come off as aggressive to others, but that is because of how much she pours herself into anything she does. We are honored to explore the depth of her dedication to her community and the motherland. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the brilliant and fiercely wonderful Angela Oduor Lungati.
Yeah.
Written by Kamande and Gemini.
Nikuulize, kwani unakata vitunguu asubuhi na mapema?
Yeah.
Hey,
It's too soon.
Hey, it's too soon, man.
Kwa kichwa hadi
No.
niko sijui alisema nini like best man speech kwenu.
Apana.
Yeah,
No, at
clearly
that
you
point we
should have.
hadn't met. We
No,
met
we hadn't.
after.
We
We
met
met
after.
after.
Okay.
After we got married.
Yeah.
Yo,
okay.
umekuja ume.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's for great people. I don't think it's hard to say all those things about them. Yeah, it's very easy, and you're a wonderful person. What have you changed your mind about in the last X days? It might be something really big or something really small, something really trivial, but yeah, anything that you've changed your mind about recently?
Nilikwambia usiniulize maswali ngumu. Starting with what have I
Nilikuona ulikuwa Oxford ukiulizwa maswali ngumu. Hizi maswali.
What have I changed my mind about? Honestly, I feel like that probably happened a long time ago. I remember walking on the streets of New York and stopping in the middle of a zebra crossing, asking myself, why am I here? What am I doing here? Because, we're constantly flying around to go look for money, to try and validate the work that we're doing on the continent for other people to fund or resource the work. And I'm like, guys, something has to change. How do we start to resource that work ourselves? How do we, as Kenyans, as Africans, start to see the power that we hold, the resources that we have, and start to shift our mindset to start to take charge of our own destiny and stop waiting for others to do that? So, yeah, that was September 2024. And I think just the last year and a half going into 2 has just been me solidifying that. So yes, I was in Oxford a few weeks ago. Amazing, just being there with other social innovators in the continent, showing the good work they're doing, and still being grounded in the fact that we need to figure out how to resource this work.
Yeah.
We need to figure out how to resource this work on our own.
That's so interesting because vile umesema hata getting this thought in New York, nimesimama tu na curiosity ya, okay, so does it mean at a point in your life you always thought that would be the sort of direction and place you'd end up being, more of outside? It was just a visit?
No, it was just a visit. So
okay.
part of, as an executive director of a nonprofit, I typically have to be on the road a lot to fundraise. And so I think in many ways before that, I was always on autopilot. It's like, this is the game. You do the work. This is where the money is. You go, you pitch, or you have to present it in a certain way for you to get the resources coming in. And I think the mindset was always that kind of funding or that kind of support will always come from outside. It will always come from outside. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, it's amazing that, yes, we have some people on the outside who really value progress on the continent and really do value being able to give resources. But that we need to tip it a little and take a bit of control around what's coming in and why, versus giving all the power to the other side.
And how's that going? Are you making inroads with raising or fundraising within the continent?
That's a complicated question. It's a very complicated question. I know others probably have. I know that there's an awakening around the capital that exists within the continent, and people who might also be outside that are of African descent and want to give the money back. But I feel like it's still early stage. I think the thought has always been that many of the African philanthropists, so people with money, will give towards the obvious things, the places where there are obvious gaps. It's like, hey, there's no school here. Let me go build a school. Let me go build a hospital. But that's slowly shifting. It is slowly shifting. There's a big up, like, was it last week, the Africa Venture Capital, there was some event bringing together again people who are of African descent and Africans who have money and want to think about how they give back.
Not just putting into real estate.
Yeah, not just putting into real estate, but like, okay, fine, invest in a startup that's doing amazing things, homegrown talent, homegrown businesses, that we're not overly reliant on tools built in the West. And us being constantly being consumers. So.
Yeah.
I'm curious, huh? And I know probably you've started on a path that we didn't even plan, but it's all good. How does it feel as an African when you are always on the road? Can I say just asking for money? I'm begging, right? How does it feel? And I know you're a brilliant person, but what's the conversation in your mind? You're walking into these rooms and pitching and saying, look at what we're doing. Come, guys, fund us. But you are like, what's your narrative in your head, at least?
So I've had the privilege of having people who've done this work for years. And so my mindset has shifted slightly. Before I'd walk in and it's, yes, I'm coming in to beg. It's, oh, woye, please give this, and that. And then one of my really good friends and amazing advisors told me, you need to shift your thinking and change the power dynamic, because the person with the money is giving something of value. Yes. But you're also giving something of value because your impact is something that will make them look good or will fulfill something for them. Like it'll fulfill something that, I don't know whether it is a personal motivation, whatever it is, but there's something of value that you also bring to the table. So nowadays I'm walking into conversations with the mindset of, how are we partnering together? You have the money, we have the tools
And the impact.
to help you achieve that impact or achieve that goal.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe I've become a bit cynical. Nowadays, I'm like, I smell this. Oh, you want me to lick your boots? Boss, go with your boots there. And those clean peke yako. I'm not
going to do that.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Did it ever feel at any point that needing to be in these spaces and ask for these amounts and all had strings attached?
Luckily, never. I always have that at the back of my mind, because I know it is a real thing. That some people will approach you and there's a certain string attached to it. I don't know whether it is God's protection or whatever it is. I lean, or rather I'm drawn towards people who share the same values that I do. Yeah. So I have not been put in a situation where it's felt like there are strings attached, and I'm very grateful. And I will also acknowledge that there are people who have not. There are guys who've been put in very difficult positions, especially as a woman. I mean, it's a thing you have to constantly worry about. Like, you're thinking about, am I dressed in the right way? Like, what vibes am I giving with the way I'm speaking? Like, will somebody take that the wrong way? Like, you constantly have that at the back of your mind. Yeah.
Okay. That's really good to know, because I imagine that there's some spaces where you feel like you're trading your dignity as an African for it, and you're just asking for handouts. And maybe that's the situation we're in, and it doesn't mean that we're going to change it immediately. But, I'm glad that you've been able to navigate that with a new mindset.
Yeah.
And you've not been in situations where it's been awkward. Grace has carried you. So really, really happy for that.
Ni Mungu. God man.
Ni
God
God.
man.
Yeah. Probably kabla toke hapo, I think then the question would be for us to do better fundraising here. Who would need to understand like the bigger vision? Is it the people? Is it the governance? Is it people in your space? Where do you think the gap in terms of knowledge is?
I think it's all of us. So
Okay.
one, I think for many of us who are doing good work, I don't know whether it's because we're a low trust society, we don't talk enough about our work. We don't talk enough about our struggles or the successes. There's this whole thing of somebody will have a bad eye or something, or the implicit competition that is there. If we genuinely just came into spaces and talked about, hey, us guys are doing this is what we're struggling with, or this is the progress that we're making, I think it would do a lot for the ones who have the capital, who'll be like, I see the value and I want to support. So on our part, I think that's a thing that we need to do as a non-profit sector, all of us. Just how do we get word out about the work that we do? How do we break silos? How do we open doors for others as well? Like, if I've walked in through this door, how am I leaving the door open for anybody else who's coming in who might be struggling? And I think for the ones who have the capital, talking to us a bit more. I think one of the frustrations that many of us have had in the space is sometimes it feels like funders and philanthropists will only be talking to themselves. And that's where they're making decisions on where they want to invest and where they want to give. And not so much it being grounded in those of us who are doing work on the ground and what is actually needed. Yes, there's progress, but honestly, there's a bit more that could be done on that side.
Man, that's such a stark reminder. And unfortunately, we are sort of a low trust society.
I mean, it's sad to say, but like, even when we were at Oxford, guys were saying, hey, I've never seen you in Nairobi. And like, when we're there, we're bonding. So we're like, why don't we ever get to meet and talk and share what we're all working on while we're here? And yes, there's part of it that's like, hey, everybody's hustling, but the low trust is a thing. It's like, hey, I'll share this. Will you go steal that idea? Or will you try and steal this fund? Not that they're even there to be stolen or anything, but yeah.
Well, that's insane. And that's more of a societal thing, because I see it how it would apply in my industry as well, in other industries. So it's a societal thing.
On the street as well. Hakuna mtu anaamini mtu mwingine.
Exactly, bana.
Everyone anaenda akiangalia tu, hapana, hiyo jamaa anataka
What's your
nini?
angle?
What's your angle? Leo unataka nini?
Umebeba nyundo.
Nyundo,
Yo,
It's insane.
Nduthi guy.
Unasikia tu nduthi nyuma yako, then you start
Uko.
unakatua
Exactly. That's
like.
insane. It says a
All this
lot
threat
about our
modeling, bana.
psyche.
Like, we don't just live. Like, you're constantly worrying about, like, okay, what's happening there, and then figuring out how to navigate. It's like you can't just be.
I always tell people when I went to Japan once, and Japan is what you define as a high trust society. It's actually documented. In Japan, you never have to worry about anything. Actually, it never occurs to them as a society that you could do wrong. An example I noticed, I picked up, was on the train system. Like, no one cares. No one looks at your cards, how they've paid. There are no cameras, nothing. But everyone pays.
We are trusting that you have paid.
Yes. It never occurs to them that they cannot not pay. It's something as simple as that. If you leave your kid in the street atembea ende shule, you never have to like check kama amefika. You're sure that atafika na atarudi home.
We. Alafu aolewe na Mkenya. You know.
Character development.
Yo.
Character development.
Okay, but what I've gotten even from that, imenkumbusha conversation I had with Ndaiga, and we spoke around target audience, and it was like, at times, sadly, is your target audience has no idea that you actually exist. So I see how we need more convos, we need more pushing, we need more
spaces.
Yeah. So totally get it. But well done.
Santini.
Well done. So far, so good, Maze. Oh, good. We jump in with throwback. Where do you want to take this?
We throw it back, Ndio.
Okay.
You didn't start out in the streets of New York, obviously. Changing your mind and going into the next, meeting, trying to pitch for Ushahidi. Where did the story start? Where were you born?
Where was I born? I was born in Odessa, Ukraine.
What? What? Mi nagoja vile umecheka. I'm waiting for some like a tiny village in somewhere.
Still tiny beginnings, but so my mom and my dad were part of the wave of students. I think it was during the Cold War. So there's a bunch that went to the US, then there's a bunch that went to the USSR. That's what it was at the time. So mom and dad met while going to USSR. Second year, baby girl showed up. So I think mom took time off of school for a few months, and then she'd go with me to class. I think I have some memories around that, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but yes. born in Ukraine to two amazing, brilliant human beings who are engineers who've really shaped what my career is today, but also how I show up for my family and for my community. Like if you see a picture of my mom and me, or you just took like a voice note and listen to her talk and me, we are
Absolutely.
we are
I
we are
attest to
peas.
this.
We are peas in a pod. We are very similar. And then my drive, ambition, the way I drive, that one is my father. When baba yangu ndiye alinifundisha kuendesha. But yeah, that's where it all began.
How long were you in Ukraine? Do you remember when you came back?
Mom said they brought me back when I was 6 months old, 6 months to a year. Then she left me for a few months and came back and picked me because she couldn't focus. So I went back. There's a picture of us with them in their graduation hats. So we moved back home, probably was like 1.5, maybe 2. And very humble beginnings. We lived with my uncle's family for a few years. Then we got a tiny house in Umowan. Umowan. It was a 1-bedroomed house. And then my late bro was born. Then we moved to a 2-bedroom house still in Umowan. Then we moved to Buru and lived there until I finished class 8. Then from there, moved to Thika Road. Then lived in South Sea, which is where I met my husband. And went to Strath University, which is where I did BBIT. It was around that time when I then met the Ushahidi founders when they were starting the iHub. And I interned with them, and here I am.
Okay.
Here I am.
You know,
naona nika kuna vitu hapo ndani za kuja kuuliza ni sawa.
I like
Ulizeni.
that Amanda threw it like within a couple of lines, Nico. You
That's
have
not how we
no
do it.
idea.
They have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I knew you'll ask. So ni sawa. Ask.
Unajaribu kutu fast forward.
Sorry.
Amefunga podcast yote.
Poleni. Sawa, ulizeni.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You first?
Haya, yangu na feel nikani slightly later. But whatever you're doing now, I don't know, but I don't think a 5-year-old back in the day would say, oh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. You know, these are like careers that have peaked with the closer we got to the new millennium. So what's the earliest memory around ambition that you have in terms of, oh, when I grow up, I want to, what were you excited to do when you're like 5, 6, 7, 8?
I remember telling my friends, I want to be like mom. I want to be like mom. And in my mind, because she'd wear like these nice suits and stuff, my assumption was mommy's a big boss. My mom is a big boss. So me, I just want to be like my mom. It's funny because when I reflect on even how my career has, the trajectory of it, I don't think it was always like, there's that goal and that's what I want. It's always kind of just emerged as we've gone along. As I've gotten clarity on like, okay, what is it that is my purpose? What am I in service of? Like, it's never been, I want to be ED. We'll get into the story of how I became ED. So like, oh, I wanted to be a big boss here or a big boss there. I never thought that I'd be moving around going to ask people for money to fulfill this, whatever I feel like is the destiny of this organization. So yeah, my earliest memory was just saying that I want to be like my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I always knew like just her and dad and the way they ran their careers was such an amazing model for me. So
So beautiful.
Yeah, that's a privilege.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I pray that, but it's given your kids will say the same thing about you.
And even if they don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
But I know they will. I know they do. Nikitatavika hapa and imagine.
I want to be like mom.
Yeah, I want to be like mom. I'm excited of that.
Man.
Umoan.
Yes.
Any memories? Where are you going to school? Where do you start? Kindergarten? Any highlights from that season?
Highlights. Kindergarten, I don't even remember the name of the church, but there was a church that had a kindergarten in Komarok. So we're living in Umo, but then it was walking distance. So at times we would walk. Then primary school, I went to New Light Junior Academy, NLJA. So it was back in the day, We were probably the first class that did KCP, though I didn't finish with them. So we saw the school be built. It was back when they were in Kayole. I'm not sure, they might still be there right now. But it was intense. Those guys were ridiculously intense. But I think that also gave me a really strong foundation. Like yes, I've always loved math, and I think it's in the blood because of mom and dad. But there's a systematic way that those guys would make sure we understood certain concepts that I think really did stick with me. And then I left when I was in grade 5, going into grade 6. I went to Loreto Convent, Valley Road. So not where Tracy
not
went.
the other
The other one. Because mom and dad wanted me to have a more balanced life. So yes, New Light was amazing. There was a really strong focus on academics, but I think it was too intense. Imagine a grade 2 going for Saturday classes.
Grade 2.
Grade 2.
Yo.
Class 2 number by then. Now, if you've not gotten here on time,
Yeah.
kuna kiboko na kungoja hapo kwa mlango.
Wow.
Mom was like, nah, this is not what I want for my child. So I moved.
Is it because they'd seen something different? Because I imagine at that time, a lot of parents, that was a model. But your parents had traveled the world, maybe seen something different?
Maybe. I'm not quite sure, but I think for them it was just maybe it might have been more around like their model and how they grew up.
Okay.
Right? Because my parents also quite sporty. So my dad played football and my mom played basketball. And I don't think I was getting to explore any of those things. It was just like, there's too much homework. Can't even play outside. Nah, this is not what we want.
Yeah.
Like we know she's smart, but what else beyond the academics is she also getting to do? So I think that was their driving force to taking me to LTVR, which was nice. So I got to play a bit of football there, but explored more of my athletics while I was at LTVR. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you actually did get active.
I did get active. In high school, I played hockey.
Okay. Yes, Fiera was very good at hockey, actually.
No, not
good?
No, so I did.
Kianda. Yes, we'll get there.
Yes, we'll get there. But yes, I have tried to maintain that sportiness throughout till now, which is also where he and I bonded. Tulikuwa tunamka 5 a.m. kwenda kuinua chuma bana in darkness.
Kuinua chuma.
In darkness.
Yeah.
In darkness.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
This is another guest, I think, probably within the last 20 episodes, alikuwa New Light. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who. As you were speaking, Nico. New Light, we've been here
New
before.
Light.
No, and
Yeah.
by the way, as in, I remember even when KCP results came out, like the top 5 were people who were in
It's
my class.
always like,
It's like,
oh, for real.
yeah, like
Ulijitafuta
smart.
kwa gazeti?
Mimi sikuwapo.
Oh, okay.
Mimi sikuwapo.
Oh,
Na
yeah.
ni sawa, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, they produced like amazing results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Umo ilikuwaje? How was Umo? Growing
Umo
up,
was
you know?
fun.
It was Umo was middle class then, right? Like
Umo was
very-
middle class
very
back
middle
then.
class, yeah.
And like, I think about it now, I'm like, wow, we were living the life. It's like, yes, you had a tiny house, but I remember like we had a loquat tree at the front, and then we had an avocado tree at the back. There was space, nyasi, places where you can play. Right now, my friend, how much you have to pay? Concrete jungle. How much you have to pay for your kids to get that? So it was really nice. I remember playing Kati. I remember playing Chamama and Chababa. I remember those 2 blue band tins that were metallic. And unakata nyasi unaiba waru from the house.
That's what we used to cook.
To go start small fires, to go pretend that you're cooking outside. So that was a lovely childhood. That really was a lovely childhood.
Sounds like fewer flats.
Fewer flats,
Definitely.
like just standalone houses.
Yeah.
Communities that really did know each other. It's like, yes, it was a big hood, but you'd know this person living here, that person living there, that person living there. Like the proper nyumba kumi, but not forced, you know. There were dedicated spaces for us to play bladder, rounders, ride bikes. Like it was just, I wish our kids had that.
Peculiar question, but do you remember how they got rid of garbage back then?
No.
Okay.
Why'd you ask?
Well, I've been curious about this for a minute. I've been
That's
curious about this
interesting.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Especially because ile Nairobi tunaenda haiwork. So at
no,
least
it
ile
really
tuko for now. And I'm noticing a lot and I'm asking a lot, Nico. I don't seem to remember much from the 90s.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Tulikuwa tunadu nini?
Dispose
'Cause
aje
Nico,
garbage?
maybe,
I don't remember
Yeah.
actually. Like, because you know nowadays you Yes, there's
a
garbage
bus.
trucks,
Yeah.
but I don't remember, like there's a specific day, toa takataka weka nje. Like, I don't remember that.
Interesting. That's very curious.
Very interesting.
Nimeiweka asterix.
Okay.
Yeah.
hata mi nimeweka.
Aya. Tuendele next level. Mlikuwa mmesema tutakam
Ulisema siblings,
Siblings,
right?
yes.
At what point does you're the first one, right?
Yes, I'm the firstborn.
So at what point do the rest come?
So my late bro Mikey was born in 1995. So we were in Umo at the time. So he and I had a six-year gap. Yes, he was born when I was 6. Then he went to St. Mary's. My younger bro, Nicholas, was born in 2003. So he and I have a 14-year gap. I remember the day he was born, Dad was taking me and Mike to school, and some guy knocked him at the back, aligonga gari, as we're driving on Thika Road. But Dad was so happy. He's like, listen, I'm going to Ushahidi to go pick up my son. Cheers.
alikuwa no beef.
No beef.
He's like, no beef. Listen,
Not
like,
today.
you're not taking my joy away.
Yeah.
But yes, so 6-year gap between me and Mike, and then 14 between me and Nicholas. Mike lived for 10 going on 11 years. He unfortunately fell sick when he was around 9. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that was a really rough time for our family. So he passed on in 2006.
What's
Right.
that? What's that? What you've just said? The lymphoma.
Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I like cancer of the lymph nodes.
Wow.
Yeah, cancer of the lymph nodes or something.
Okay.
But yeah, he died the year I was doing KCSE. I remember that one. I distinctively remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's now going on. We're into 2026. My
20
goodness, 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years since he passed.
Was that your first interaction with grief?
No,
Okay.
but I mean, my grandma died in 96. That's my mom's dad. No, my dad's mom. Sorry, my dad's mom. My mom's dad passed away when I was probably 2. Like, I have this memory of going to visit him in Hosi and him carrying me on his hospital bed. And then I also remember the funeral. But I don't think it quite hit as strongly as losing my brother. Because this is like, hey,
That's your bro.
that's my bro.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he's gone? So that was the first interaction with someone who died and the first body that I ever saw. I think after that, there's something that changed. Like, death was no longer a scary thing. No, it still is, but the fear of like seeing a dead body died with me seeing him. Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I don't know whether it's because like when I saw him, he looked like he was sleeping. And so there was like a realization that
It's not anyone different.
he's not different. He's still that same little guy who loved with the biggest heart, who had the best eyebrows. I keep asking myself how. I used to have the bushiest of eyebrows. Mike had as in perfect, beautiful eyebrows. The one we used to fight with a lot. Mazi, we fought. We fought as children.
Because it was you two for a long time.
It was us two for a long time, and of course the sibling rivalry is there. But yeah, just the sweetest, gentlest human being. I remember, so we used to have to wait for my dad to pick us up from Holy Family when we were living on Thika Road. And he would save his break money so that he could buy fries for us to eat while we were waiting for my dad to come pick us up.
Oh.
Yeah. That little man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit and I'm like, I wonder what life would have been like if you were around. Yeah. But I also know that he's at peace.
Yeah.
Was in pain.
The last day, the day he died, yes. That was hard. That was really, really hard. But I wasn't there when he eventually passed. I was taken to school. And my mom and my dad told me that he was at peace. Yeah. I mean, even just like looking at him after he passed, he just looked like he was asleep. Yeah. He'd really gone through it. Like the chemotherapy, yeah. No child should have to go through that, and no parent should have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you go through the exam period? What internal narrative are you telling yourself through this, knowing that you're still carrying all this?
man, again, ni God. There are some things that will just never make sense to you in this life, and the only thing that can carry you through is your faith and knowing that somebody else is in control. And I think that's honestly what we did. We struggled through it, but just knowing that this was God's timing. There's nothing wrong that anyone had done. It was his time. He's taken him so that he's at peace and he's no longer in pain. Like, there's a plan that God has around this. Like, that's literally the only way you can get through it. I remember walking with mom and telling her the same thing, because I think she carried quite a bit of, I'm trying to put myself in her shoes and her feeling like there was something she could have done. I remember telling her there's nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
And God is in control.
That's a lot of wisdom for your age then.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The next time you feel overwhelming joy, how long did it take before you went, oh, this is such a lovely day?
I don't think I remember.
Okay.
I don't think I remember. Because I went through, like, grief isn't like a straight line. Like, the days when things are good and the days when things are really bad. There's this one song that he really loved by Beyonce, Check Up on It. I could not hear that song without breaking down. And I remember was probably maybe 5 or 6 years later, I heard the song and I smiled.
Oh, okay.
But that's when I knew, okay, we are on the journey to healing. But I could not listen to that song without breaking down immediately. Yeah.
And if you're to sort of, because clearly we can't be as specific as to this is the moment, but in the next few years, there could have been pockets of joy. And so what season is this in your life? This is now post-school? What are you, what are you going through in that season? What are you doing?
There's so many things though. Like, between that time and now, like, there've been so many things, like meeting new people,
Meeting your husband.
Yes.
Oh, it's that same season?
Yeah, because
Yes.
you go to Strath after high school.
I go
right?
to Strath after high school. I meet Sam 5 years later. Yes.
Sam being the husband.
Sam, his namesake.
Oh,
Yes, I meet him 5 years later. The wedding definitely comes up as one. The days both my girls are born.
Okay.
And, like, things like their first steps or those first smiles, the gatherings that we have, like he said, themed birthday parties. So I can't pinpoint a specific moment. I can tell you who's around me. It is my family. It is my friends, my family and my friends. Just being around those are the points where I feel genuine joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I know we'll sit in this moment for a minute. All this is happening before the next time you hear Check Up on It?
Good question. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Take it away, Commander.
Rest in peace, Mike. What's the transition like from Light Academy, right?
Yeah. New Light.
New Light Academy to LCV? Was the change significant? Did you notice any differences other than the fact that they were more holistic, I suppose?
No.
Okay.
And I think that's probably a challenge with me, because I don't think I'm normally very aware in the moment. It's things that happen, like, my thinking comes in hindsight. And I think even at that point, I wasn't necessarily focused. Like, I didn't understand why kina mama moved me. I was like, why? All my friends are here. I remember going to LCVR and it being an all-girls school and wondering, okay, but feeling a bit more comfortable as well and not feeling awkward. But then that journey of, like, trying to fit in, I think was definitely that was a struggle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as we close that season, any lessons that you carry with you from those very early years, from Umo 1, Umo 2, Buru, Vika Road? CVR.
Change is inevitable. You have to be adaptable to change. Yeah, that's definitely one. And then 2, just be grounded in who you are. Because one thing that you'll also notice, it's like moving from Umo to Buru, then to Thika Road. That also signals, quote unquote, what people will assume is affluence. But I don't think that was a thing that ever popped up. And I probably credit that to my parents. It was never about what we had or where we stayed. It was the quality of connections that you are making with other people.
The people around
with
you.
the people around you.
Yeah.
Not the, oh, you have this car or this. Because, I mean, for the first, my dad got a car when I was in grade 3. There are points where we'd go visit people and we are getting into matatus. And it was back in the day when Mishuki rules were not there. So you'd be packed like sardines in a jav. I have this memory of dad getting us out of the jav from the back window. Because there was no way to get out in front.
Imejaa.
Ilikuwa imejaa, hakuna njia. So tunatolewa, somebody
Kila mtu
holds
ameshika
us.
javelin.
Then he also comes out through the window. Sorry, daddy. So yeah, I mean, it's like that trajectory and it also speaks to the growth that they went through, like how their careers were also being shaped. And what we then had access to, the schools they then aspired to take us to, but it also speaks to the values they instilled in us. It was like, hey, please don't assume these are things that can disappear very quickly. Yeah, remain grounded in this is who we are as a family. These are the values we espouse. You will be generous. You will be kind. You will not be rude. You will not be entitled. Hey, that one they worked on. What? Yeah.
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 Random question. How do you work on that? And how do you carry that lesson into how you parent your kids, especially the entitlement one?
That one is a bit of a struggle because, and I think I also saw it with my parents, your drive will likely be to give your children what you feel like you did not have, which can unintentionally create that entitlement. So I'm trying to be proactive in, yes, I will organize a themed birthday parties for you, but I need you to understand what went into this. I need you to understand the privilege it is for you to have this kind of gathering and to have this number of people come to celebrate you so that you can genuinely express thanks in people creating time and coming to celebrate you. There are kids out there who don't have that. So I'm having to do, Sam and I do a lot of the talking and trying to explain, because another point where they can genuinely understand. So even if somebody is coming to tell you, by the way, my birthday next year, I want this, it's, okay. So you know this is what it normally takes. Do you know that somebody else in this other region does not have this and this and that? So how does that shape how you show up?
The reason I ask that is also because I've noticed my kids asking things about other people. Like, why don't the other person have a birthday party?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the language around that, it's a really important learning moment. And I think, thanks for helping out with the language around it.
Oh yeah.
A computer. Yeah. At
Yes.
what point you go, oh, I think there's gold here.
Age 12.
Oh yeah.
Age 12.
Very specific.
Very specific.
Wow.
I remember because, so dad worked at, where was he at the time? Was it Kensel? No. Anyway, engineering work. And he used to come back, no, it was Alcatel. He used to come with his...
Alcatel.
Alcatel.
Jesus Christ.
Guys,
That's such a throwback, Mazi.
proper.
Alcatel, yeah.
So Mans would come home with a laptop to do, yes, he has to do work. So he'd come with his laptop home. But we'd always gather around him playing this game called Captain Claw. It was playing games that drew me. And I'm like, okay, sawa. Wacha tuendele hapa. And then he got a desktop that we used to have in the house. So one of my uncles also used to live with us, and he was really good with design. So we'd also get to see him play around with different things. So there was always some sort of tinkering with
God,
the
jenye
chip.
mlikuwa mababi. This is 2001.
Way.
Hey, kona laptop.
Laptop ya job, sio laptop
Sawa.
yake. Laptop ya job, sio yetu.
Don't you have computer?
Laptop ya job. And by the time we're getting that desktop was 2 or 3. Or 3 or 4. But yes. siamini umenita babi ni sawa
Hey!
tu ni sawa tu ni sawa
Yeah,
but yes
do you soon get the understanding of what this thing does and what it can do? And you follow that curiosity.
So it isn't until maybe I go Form 4 that I start to get curious about these applications that I'm using. How do they get... Because, I mean, I was only a consumer. It was just like consuming, playing around with it. But what actually goes behind the tools that we're using, these two applications, like what exactly does it look like? And so when I finish with Kianda, we have this, it's what, like a year or two before you're called to uni. Like, okay, let me go do something at Strat. So I did French first. I did French at Alliance. Yes, yeah. For a few months. And then one of the guys in the class says, there's this course I'm going to join at Strat, DBIT, the Diploma for Business Information Technology. And I get curious. So I find it, I take it to Kinamam. I'm like, I want to go try this thing. I'm like, okay, cool. And that is where I had my first interaction with programming. And guess who taught me? My now sister-in-law.
No.
Yes.
You're like this grand genius.
Yes,
she is.
Yeah, she is a genius. But like the person who taught me fundamentals of programming was my sister-in-law.
So connected.
This is the one that we are parents together
Yes.
for grade 1.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
yes.
look at that.
Doctor.
Yes.
Dr. Maureen Collins.
Doctor. Yes,
Dr.
Just this aside, she asks a lot of hard questions when you go for parents' meetings.
Yeah.
You can definitely hear the doctor in her.
Yeah. But
She's brilliant.
That's
She's
like
brilliant.
what do they call it? The string theory. Like somehow we are all connected with the...
But then you don't see it. It's like, hey. Because I met her first. I didn't meet Sam until the end of that year. And it was by chance because we were standing in queue at MOW to vote. And I see this guy, like a fast body, going hang out with his cousins. I'm like,
He still had the biceps.
yes, he did.
Wait, first of all, what is MOW?
Ministry of Works. There's like a club.
Okay.
It was a polling station. So we're living in South Sea. So as we're standing on the queue waiting to vote, I see this guy
Voting your elections.
Voting elections, yeah, 207.
What are the odds? Okay.
Right? You're seeing where this is going.
Yeah. Yo, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What were we even talking about? But yes, let's go back. Let's go back. We were talking about something.
No, to look at the DBIT.
DBIT, yes. So now that's when I got curious about programming, and it was C++. Those of you who do tech, hey, where? Yeah. That was the entry point. So all of these years of like, okay, I'm seeing mom and dad, they are engineers, they're brilliant in their work. I really love math. Get into Strath and now start to actually tinker around with logic and how you put A plus B to C to then something that somebody else will then use. I was like, oh,
This is how they do it.
this is how they do it. This sounds like fun. This sounds like something that I want to keep doing.
So
Curiosity. I'm picking up a lesson there on lots of curiosity, even at that age. Kianda. You spent 4 years at Kianda.
Yes.
An amazing school.
Yeah.
And I know that you ended up taking your girls there as well.
Yes.
What's your experience at Kianda? Any lessons, takeaways from that period?
Kianda, I think, was probably lay the foundation for who I am and who many others who've passed through Kianda are today. We may have been denying it back in the day, but it really set a really good foundation in the sense that even then there was a grounding in values. It's not about what you have, it's about who you are and what's in your heart. So there was a very big focus, yes, on academics. Like we were very, very good. I think we're number 3 or 4 overall when KCSE results came out. But it was more of like the programs around your development as a girl or as a woman who will go out into the world. They taught us to be curious. They taught us to question things. They used to use the term strong-willed for people who would go against the grain. But I think that actually was a strength of many people who passed through. But the grounding in my faith, like understanding why do you believe in this? Not just you're raised Christian, you must go to church, but why do you go to church? Why do you believe in Jesus Christ? Why is he who he is in your life? Is a thing that they took very seriously. Okay, cooking I learned from my mother. I didn't learn from Kianda. Taking care of a house I learned from my mother. But still, there was a lot of formational things around character and character building that I haven't seen anywhere else. And it was a primary reason why I took the girls back to Kianda. Yeah.
Okay. Did you enjoy your experience at Kianda?
I did. And I made lifelong friends in Kianda. Lifelong. My best maid, she and I were desk mates from day one in Kianda. Day one. She stood by me during the wedding. She stood by me during grief. She was there when Tamika was born. Like her name is Leo. So Leo and Ida are like the strongest pillars of my life today, quite honestly. So one of the things that I think I've had to navigate throughout is like, who is Angie? Like, what's my identity? It's very easy to get lost in your identity as this leader in tech, or as a wife, or as a mom. They are the one place I can just be me, regardless of these titles. And I really appreciate that. Kianda gave me that. And with everybody else, it's not to say like they stand out because they're like my sisters, but everyone else, like there's a strong bond that we have as people who are in that class that you can't buy. You cannot buy.
What did Strathmore give you?
Strathmore gave me my husband.
Hey, shout out Strath.
No, Strath gave me my husband. Strath gave me the foundation for my career. Strath opened up doors. Strath really opened up doors because it exposed me to programming in a way that I hadn't been exposed to before. It gave me business acumen. I think that's one. When we used to be in Strath, we'd be like, we're not getting to jump deep into the tech and the details. And then there was everything else around it. Like we did cost accounting. We did philosophy. We did contract law. Like things that in that time were like, guys at JQuat are going deep. Ask guys, why? And now, as you're running your businesses, you're like, oh, that's my goodness. Why. That is why. Because you have to be able to combine your technical capacity with how you then run a business. Oh my goodness. This is why I'm ED. So yes, Strath. But yes, Strath gave me my husband, which is, that unit is what's given me my family today. And it also gave me the foundation for what my career has shaped out to be. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. There's something about the Catholic schools, especially those two, Kianda, Strath. And I know sometimes, they get a lot of slack for how stringent they are in implementing the things that they believe are right.
They can loosen up a bit there, but
they can. Maybe I don't know. But again, given everything that they've done to people like you, you see why they want to do things in a particular way.
Yes, and you can still call out the things that just feel like they're very colonial and like I don't understand why I'm walking into a school and somebody's busy turning to look at how tight my trousers are. The fashion cops. I still there has to be a different way of encouraging people. Like I understand the value of this is how you need to look like in a business setting. And there's a different way that you can share that feedback without
Okay. Yeah, that is fair. And we can find the ways in which they can improve.
It's a delivery and the methods of implementation.
That's very interesting because just for us human beings, we are perfect, but with a lot of room for improvement.
Of course, always. Work in progress. Like you said, busy being born.
Busy being
born. Even Strath and Kianda
busy
being born.
Yeah. Okay.
Mimi niko na swali nyingine hot sana.
Wewe uko wapi? Uko hiyo ama slightly
mimi
later?
Mimi niko MW sasa.
Okay.
Wewe ni mwana pale unaenda.
Because mi naenda ushahidi.
Unaenda ushahidi?
Eh,
Hapana,
so
hapana,
turudi
iwezi.
kwako.
MOW.
Yes.
Me, when I saw Sam the first time, Amy, I saw the guns too, and then the shoulders, and
Don't worry, I also saw the
and I
guns.
fell in love. Oh, so that's the reason as well.
I saw them guns. Listen, I'll be very honest. I saw the guns.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that's what you saw. That's the first thing you saw.
I mean, how do you miss those broad shoulders?
Yeah.
Please tell me. Please tell me how you'd miss them.
At
Yes.
this rate sijui tuweke picha yake kwa pod. Si wale hatujui hizi shoulders tuko okay.
Hey, akona
Hey.
ma shoulder na maguns dead.
Yeah.
Hata mimi nilimuona I fell in love the first time too. Like I wanna train with you
Yeah.
that way.
Yes.
And that's how we actually became friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been training together for years now. When you met him at that point, did you think that this was going to be something really long term, or?
I did not. I So he and I have different versions of this story. I thought he was out of my league.
Oh yeah,
I thought.
because my guns, na shoulders.
Yes.
Okay.
By the I had serious self-esteem issues while younger, things that I've had to work on as I've grown. But like, look at him, I'm like, nah, there's absolutely no way. And according to him as well, I was out of his league. Very, very wild. So I think I my first memory of seeing him was at MOW, and then I would see him at Strath as well. He says the first memory of him seeing me was at a gym at Aquila. So if you walk behind Strath, is it Aquila 1 or Aquila 2? And they had a gym. So some of us used to go and work out of there. So it's like, that's where he spotted me. Then a common friend, someone that I went to LTVR with, is the one who introduced us while we were standing on a queue waiting to buy lunch. And we bonded over Japanese manga. I will explain. I will explain. Yes, I'm a firstborn, and we also lived with a lot of male figures in the house. Not just my dad, but like my cousins who are essentially my big brothers. So I had like 2 big brothers who are proper geeks, like guys who would play video games. I'd play video games with them, who would read and watch Japanese manga. So that's where my interest into all of that also came.
I did not know this side of you.
Yes, I can. Naeza cheza Need for Speed, Mortal Kombat. I know. I can do those things.
Unangi akikimbia ufanya hivi mikono.
Yes. So we exchanged iPods to listen to music. And we talked a little bit about Japanese manga. And then we started walking home together. And it was like long walks. So imagine from Mada all the way to South Sea. And I think that's why we started bonding. And even then, I still didn't see anything happening. If anything, my mom saw it before we did.
Oh.
Because he would walk me home. He'd come in, and because we are very hospitable people, we would feed him. Mom is like, "Ay, appa." I'm like, nah. Weeks later. Done. Yeah. I genuinely did not see us getting together. I didn't see us. I don't think any of us ever saw us forming this family unit that we have today. Yeah.
I think it's a food.
For sure, it's a
Because
food.
he's a Luya boy.
Kama Luya kadogo.
So you'll talk to him and his other friend, the best man.
Yeah.
So I would carry sandwiches for him that the friend would try and steal. So yes, I think I went in through the stomach. It was not a strategy. It was not. I genuinely like feeding people. You know that.
I know that.
I genuinely like feeding people. Yeah. And here we are. 2008 to now is what? 16 years later.
16 years.
16 years? No,
18.
8.
Yeah? It's an adult.
18 years later, and we've been married. This will be the 12th year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the curiosity around getting to know him more, the excitement around manga and things he's into still
We
there?
don't do that stuff now.
Yeah.
Right now we are we are swim parents. We are CrossFitters. What else do we do? I think that's it.
But still shared interests.
Still shared interests in tech, shared values around family, around faith. But yes, sports has become a really big thing for us in our house. A really, really big thing. And maybe that's a sign that we also need to create more space for ourselves to go back to like what were those things we're interested in. He's really into music, so he's a bass player. He's been going for classes recently.
Oh, he's back in.
Yeah, faithfully every Sato goes for class to and he's also doing his master's, about to finish his last exam. So yes, I think adulting has driven us more towards things that are more functional, but there's still little quirky things in there that we enjoy.
Yeah.
We love road trips, or he really loves road trips. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I.
So you can now.
Nice. So, and this has come up at least twice.
Yes.
My favorite part was that's how I ended up as ED. You know, it was exciting when I read up, Nico. Oh, wait, she came in as an intern, was it?
Yes, an intern.
Yeah, and you end up at ED. Like, how does that happen? And and is this your first sort of quote unquote gig after school?
Yes.
So how do we get there, and what's the experience? So that we get to understand how you ended up there.
So Strath is in the mix here. So I did a contract, a research contract with Jessica Colasso, who's one of the founders of the iHub, really good friend of ours. And when she was leaving what was then the Strathmore Research Consultancy Center to go start the iHub, she was like, we're having this launch event, come volunteer. So I went, I volunteered. I remember meeting Ori and Eric. And Eric Hassman. I don't remember seeing Juliana. Juliana I met a few months later, but...
For context, these are the founders of iHub.
They're the founders of the iHub and founders of Ushahidi. And founders of Ushahidi. So go for the launch in Nini. Strath says you need to get your industrial attachment somewhere. So I go to the iHub and I intern with them for 3 months, then I'll go back for my 4th year. But I think in that time, I did some volunteering work even with Ushahidi. Like there was during the referendum. So they did the same thing and we'll go back to the origin story, but this is more on how I got in. They ran an instance to monitor the referendum. So I volunteered a little bit there. So when I finished 4th year, I reached out to Eric. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a job. He's like, you come. So the iHub folks were expecting me to go work for them. He's like, come to the Ushahidi side. And it did cause beef a little bit there because Jessica was really banking on me going to work for her, but then I ended up working for Eric directly at Ushahidi. So I interned for 3 months. So between April 2011 and April and August of 2011, I was a software development intern. Like just working behind the scenes, fixing bugs, nini. Then they had me as a full-time dev, but junior. So I was being mentored by the likes of Linda Kamau, who she and I and a bunch of other people founded Akira Chicks with, but she was really amazing. The likes of Emmanuel Kala, who I have no idea where he is right now, but that brilliant man really instilled a lot of knowledge around software development in me, and many others. And then, because I'm a social person, I always found myself drawn to, yes, I'm fixing bugs, but who am I fixing for? So you have this issue. Okay, let me go find that issue, fix it, and then come back and tell you. So I didn't fit the mold of your typical dev who just wanted to sit and work behind a computer and not engage with anyone. So that pushed me into community management, which is in many ways like product management, because you understand the tech and how it's built, but then you also understand what people need on the ground. So I ended up being this bridge between the devs and the people using the tool. And somehow also found myself as an activist for the people using the tool, because somewhere along the way we had to figure out how to make money. And I strongly felt that the pathway we were taking was taking us away from what the original mission was, trying to put our tools in the hands of people who need it the most. Yeah. So these, the economic factors were driving us towards people who would pay for the tool, but it felt like we were ignoring these other ones. And I became the loud voice that kept on pushing for open source, make sure these people can access. So when things came to a head and my predecessor left, then the board said, okay, Angie might be it. She seems very passionate about this. Why not give her the chance to bring us back to our roots? I was 3 weeks postpartum.
Whoa.
With Tamika. This is 2019. Eric comes, tells me, listen, do you want to do this? And it's wild because I'm someone who overthinks a lot. In that moment, I was so sure. I was like, sour, let's do this. And everyone kept asking me, are you mad? Like, why would you take on this job? You know, there's no money. Like, you're going to have to go in and fundraise. There's questions around that. It doesn't seem like there's a clear strategy. Trust has been broken within the community and even within the organization. Like, why would you take this mess? And I was like, I just know I have to do it, because if I don't, I will always ask myself, what could it have been like if I did? And I'm so glad I made that decision. It's been hard, it's been tough, but I think it's also helped me grow, not just as a professional, but also personally. Like, it's really challenged like my notion of things. It's made me much more resilient. It's made me figure out what my boundaries are. It's helped me think about, like, what are the systems you put in place to truly mentor and train people. And it's gotten me here to think about, like, okay, what's my purpose beyond Ushahidi? What am I doing for the next generation of people who come after us?
Yeah.
So, and I know I've not talked about Ushahidi itself.
It's all good.
Najua mtauliza,
Yeah.
but
It's
that's just like my own journey getting into the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then to at least tick that off, the question would be, when you're getting to understand what Ushahidi does, when you're getting in, you probably ask, maybe you didn't, but you probably ask, okay, so what do you guys do? What was that answer then? And is it similar to the answer that you'd give that intern coming in right now?
Answer is yes and no. So when I asked then, I think the slogan was democratizing access to information. Or was it changing the way information flows? It was changing the way information flows. And now there's elements of that, but there's a stronger, let me just say what we do. We are a tech and data nonprofit that helps people everywhere to quickly gather people's lived experiences and then use that data to generate insights to tackle issues that matter most to them. In the beginning, it was, we are seeing that the way data flows is top-down. Switch that up. Have it be more of a bottom-up approach, which is what? Trying to center people's lived experiences at the heart of different conversations. And that's why you've seen, like, the work around the elections in Kenya, whether the stuff around flooding or earthquakes around different parts of the world, or human rights issues, tracking sexual harassment against women in different parts of the world. That was always the core of it. It's how are we picking up what all these people are saying and creating this microphone? How are we helping them raise their voice? And that is still at the core of what we do. And now it's really around how do we push it to the next level? So yes, you're raising your voice, but how do we make that voice count? What needs to happen for that voice to count? How are we helping people move from data to information to knowledge with the tools that we have in place? And so our focus is on building the tech and the infrastructure that makes that possible. We are not an election monitoring organization. We are not a crisis NGO. We are not a climate NGO. We are tech and data. And we build open source tools. We don't charge anyone any money. You can download the software for free. You can sign up on the hosted service. If you're looking to find a way to get people to hear others, then you use that. You'll be able to come in, you can configure text to SMS, social media, smartphone apps, and it's just a way for you to pull that out. So let me even give you an example locally. A few years back, we had this fuel shortage. Someone set up a find fuel map. It was like, they just send a text, say, I went here, this is where you can find fuel. This is where you can find fuel. The other day, I discovered that there's someone in Tanzania who's been using our platform to keep track of all the people who are still missing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm always making new discoveries. It's like someone will be using it in a wildly interesting way. There's some kids in the US who are using it to map out the cost of chicken, and others like the best burger joints. But if you just think about it, it's how do I get both, like if you care about something, how do I get more people than just the two of you to share their perspectives? And then you have it somewhere where it's quickly organized, which is different from what social media does. Yes, it gives you a microphone, but there's so much noise. How do you pick out the signal? How do you organize it into something that truly makes sense? A decision maker will say, okay, I'm seeing we have 1,000 issues on this topic. We need to respond here. Or we're seeing this number of people here saying there's this issue. How do we respond to that?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Okay. Well, a few questions around, which is like amazing. And thanks for clarifying, because even for me, who's slightly close to Ushahidi, I'd have said that your focus is on crisis, elections, and governance, right? Because I think that's how Ushahidi came up for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
Are you just providing the rails, or are you also providing the front end on which people can do these things? And two, what does AI do for Ushahidi in terms of is it more disruptive versus I can vibe code something on top of Ushahidi?
Good point. So I would say it's giving the rails and the front end. So think of WordPress. You can download a WordPress site and host on your own server if you have access, or you can use a WordPress.com account. It's very simple. It's exactly that. So you just come in and all you have to do is configure, put in your logo, define your surveys, define the data sources. Are you going to be using text? Are you going to be using Twitter or whatever? Just configure that. And it's like plug and play for you really, really quickly. And the challenge with that has been, it'll be very easy for you to get data quickly. Like you can collect hundreds of thousands of reports very fast. Then the question becomes, how am I organizing it? How am I making sense of it? And in instances where we've been involved, like the Kenyan election one, which is special, like it's a thing that's close to our heart. It's where we're born. So we can't just say we won't do anything around it. What we've had to do is we've had to like get volunteers based here, others abroad, so you have like a continuous pipeline of people processing the data. It's been extremely manual, which means even as you're getting like 100,000 posts, you're only making sense of about maybe 10K of them. And that's where AI comes in for us. And that was actually the entry into my activism around AI and the challenges around it. But what we're trying to do with AI is leverage it to make sense of the data faster and reduce friction around how we engage with people. In that you don't constantly have to fill out 10 questions. You want to send a voice note, where to my voice note? You want to say it in Kikuyu? Send it. Send it, and then we'll do the heavy lifting. We'll do the transcription, we will do the geolocation, we'll translate it, and then we'll classify it. You don't have to do the work of organizing it into a way that I will understand. We'll use AI to help us understand that better. And then after that, we'll figure out how to draw out the pieces that are relevant for somebody who needs to respond to it. So is it the NGO that works on providing food? Is it an NGO that provides access to education? They can tell Aya, we seem to have this challenge here. Let's respond. Is it philanthropy that wants to understand what are the real world issues we should be investing in? They have a dashboard that will give them that. So we are in many ways leveraging what's already there, but because of the markets that we operate in, or at least the audiences we're more concerned with, like, I mean, plain and simple, the African continent, we know that there are such serious and huge data gaps that exist, which make it hard for the AI systems to truly understand us.
I see.
Yeah. I'm seeing you connecting dots.
Yeah. No. It makes sense completely.
Yeah.
Do you know what the capital city of Central African Republic is?
Tuambie juu unajua.
Hata mimi sikumbukagi jina. But think about Central Africa. The reason I use it is because it's not in conversations. Right? And yet there are problems there. There are people who need crisis response.
Yeah.
I don't even know what language they speak. Who knows? Is it anywhere on Google Translate or on all these platforms? I don't know.
Do you know the language spoken in Malawi? Chichawa. Like for us right now, like some of the, maybe let me ask this. Have you tried using ChatGPT with Kikuyu? And how well does it perform for you?
No, I haven't.
Try. Yeah. Or Luo, or all these others. If we're truly talking about using technology for good, which is, I think, what my focus has always been. Like, the tech has to be in service of something. It has to be helping somebody for real.
Yeah.
And the people that we're trying to deal with, like, not everybody speaks English.
Yeah.
English is not a universally spoken language or understood. So how are we going to reach everyone? How are we going to bridge that divide if the tools we're building don't even understand them? Yeah, like what are we doing? And especially if we're saying everyone is like, oh, we're going to apply AI in this. It's going to it's going to change what if my grandmother cannot understand what this thing is going to do?
Yeah.
And those are now some of the challenges we're hitting, because it's like, you go in and you work with a community in Tana River, or you're working with a community in Siaya. They'll predominantly speak their local language. Here I am trying to process the data, and this thing can't understand.
Yeah.
So who else is doing work around that? So this is where now the coalition building also starts. Like, who are the people who are doing work to digitize these languages and make sure that that gap is being closed? For us at a higher level, it's the kind of data that Ushahidi has been helping people collect is a very different one. It's lived experience. It's worldview. And people don't take worldview seriously. And they should, right? Because worldview will show you where your blind spots are. Everyone is focused on, and it's fine, the scientific data, fact, really helpful. Government data, census, nini, wonderful. But when you go down into why is this the case? Why is this fact that way? Worldview is what will tell you that. So yes, the satellite will tell you this place receives rainfall this number of times in a year. And they've been experiencing X, Y, and Z. But someone will come and tell you, I've not been able to sell this cash crop over the last X number of years because of this shift, and it's affecting my economic abilities. It starts to shape your thinking in a different way. Or we've been cutting down trees because the policy is that this was in Tana River, nursery tree farmers are getting taxed more than people cutting down trees to sell charcoal.
Yeah.
That's not an obvious thing.
Yeah.
But
In
when you
Nairobi,
talk,
you're using the policy.
you're only seeing the policy. But when you go and talk to someone, they're like, oh. So it now goes to show you why it's very important to have all of these like really valuable facts and data sets, but you need to combine that with the worldview. So you can truly get to understand what's going on the ground.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we've been helping people in more than 160 countries. So that's, I think I'm very proud of, by the way. There are over 200,000 instances and probably more of Ushahidi's platform in 160 countries in the world. 160 countries.
How many countries are there in the world?
Well done.
I don't.
Are there 190?
I assume that's a huge proportion.
Yeah,
That's
it
close
should be
to
about
like
190.
90% of the world.
About 190.
That's close to global coverage.
Yeah, close to
Really
global coverage.
Yeah.
And it's all we did was just build the infrastructure. People take and they set up and they're able to use it to tell their own stories.
Yeah.
And now in the age of
195. Look
yeah.
at that.
And now in the age of AI, it's like, okay, we are complaining about different parts of the world not being represented. Could these data sets that have been collected over the last 19 years also be useful in helping create that representation? So now you're seeing how our AI play is coming in. We're not only trying to use it to help people process data faster, but we're also wondering whether if we open up everything, all this knowledge that's been gathered over the last 19 years, would that help create representation? The assumption is yes. And we also have challenges with how the AI ecosystem is growing.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What's the incentive?
What
For these
incentive for
companies?
who?
For these companies.
That's number one. Right now, there's a big push by these companies try and fill those gaps, but it's a very selfish one, right? Because they want, I mean, it's market reach, and this is an untapped market. So I don't know if you've noticed, like, there's a lot of focus on, let's get compute in Africa, let's work with these academic institutions, but it's very extractive. It's very extractive. You want to come in and license these data sets as completely open? Sawa. We've done the work. The AI company comes in, trains their models, then you come charge me $200 to access the same
model.
The same model. It's extractive. There's no value going back. And it's not to say that the value has to be monetary, but like, are they thinking about what the value is for those communities that they are putting to work to fill those gaps?
Yeah. I know some friends at Google Research who've recently done a lot of work in terms of adding African languages. I don't know how helpful that has been for you, because I think that's probably the one instance I know where there's actually active work that does not feel extractive to try and add all these people and sort of bring them along and then put out open source models. Gemma.
So there's many people. So there's like Masakane Foundation. Masakane guys have been doing a lot of good work on like just working with different African communities to digitize them. There's groups like Lelapa is doing really well. There's Ghana NLP. I'll give a shout out. There's Dr. Lilian Wanzare, who's a professor at Maseno University. She's done a lot to build a language corpus of Luo in that region. And so there's work going on. But I think the question that many of us are asking ourselves in this age is like, what does ethical and responsible governance of these data systems look like? Because default open is not working. You will ask, because the premise behind open source in the years has been, I'm making it open so that somebody else can benefit and that they will continue to share that benefit around. But right now what's happening is there's benefit going, but it's one-sided. Someone will take and then there's some proprietary benefit coming. So it's not equal.
It's not two-way.
It's not two-way. It is one way. And that's where the extractiveness is coming in. So there's a lot of conversations on what does licensing look like? Who should have first of all, let's start with this data was collected for this purpose. What determines how else it's then getting reused? And the people who shared it, do they consent to that in the first place?
Good question, yeah.
Do they consent to that? Number two, who gets access to this data as well? Are there a limited few who'll be allowed to do that? Who'll be the person enforcing what this license is in the first place, or the governance structures, and what benefit needs to come back? There's a lot. And I know the guys have good friends at Strathmore's Center for Intellectual Property who've also been working on a license in partnership with the University of Pretoria. So there's
what's the guy? I forget his name.
Vukosi
Marivate.
Yes.
He's such a hero on the continent.
He is like he's doing the Lord's good work. So he's both like Masakane, Lelapa, but then he's also representing Africa on. There's a special council that was set up by the UN recently to think about these issues, and he's sitting on that again, going in representing the continent's perspectives. He's also one of the guys who convenes deep learning in Daba.
Yep.
It's going to be held in Nigeria this year, which is a convening of AI researchers, AI developers, it's everybody who's interested in how we are building AI solutions, and again, the governance around this. So
a lot of work cut out, Maze.
My friend.
Is an open sourcing idea or angle, is that what brought you into the Creative Commons?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Which is...
Because, wait, is this the same CC I know from copyright?
It is, yes, it is. It is. And when I joined, I had massive imposter syndrome, because the board of Creative Commons has some of the smartest, brilliant minds.
Which includes you now.
Okay, thank you. But some of the smartest people in this world who came together many years ago to try and fight against the grain of like what traditional copyright was supposed to be, like how you can facilitate open knowledge and open sharing in ways that will still allow value to go back to people. So all the license, like you've heard of Creative Commons licenses, that they've become such a core infrastructure or a core part of how we share our knowledge. And it's interesting. I didn't think about it then, but I am where I am at CC right now because it was all engineered. Ni God manze. Because in this age of AI, the organization is also trying to think about the licenses that are there don't seem to work anymore. What does the next generation of licenses need to look like? So they've been holding a lot of consultations with people. And it's necessary because there's a few who are still stuck on like purists of open, it has to be open, let robots read. And then the others who are like, we have to think about the ethical concerns. Creatives around the world are complaining about how their creative works are being taken and being used to create other things,
train models,
to train models, and no value is going back to them. Here on the African continent, we might not have gotten that far, but it is coming. It is coming. Right now, the focus is mostly on like the underserved communities that are doing work to try and bridge that gap. And even with them, that extractiveness is going on. So,
yeah. You've thought about this quite a lot, specifically on AI. Where does Africa fit into the AI conversations?
Africans, we need to wake up. We need to wake up. Anytime you hear conversations about AI and Africa's involvement, everybody's looking at us at the bottom of the food chain. We are consumers. We are only seen as consumers or a place to extract. So, first of all, the people who are doing work to annotate data that is being trained, that these models are being trained on, where do they come from? The African continent.
Because the wages are very low.
The wages are very low, right? I'm sure you've been following the case with Sama, and yeah. So that's one. Two, the next place are natural resources. I don't know if you've also been like picking up on, like recently, the US government has been pressurizing Zambia to give access to their minerals. Trying to remember which one. Was it cobalt and something else? Others won't be given $1 billion over the next 5 years for TB and AIDS medication. Congo, let's not even talk about 70% of the world's cobalt comes from Congo. The road to AI is literally being built off the back of Congo. And so you start to think about, okay, how is that also influencing the crisis in that area? I'm sure you've also heard of people say how, the Africa has the youngest population in the world. Workforce of the future. Workforce for where? Workforce for where? We have the talent. We have the natural resources. But there are structural gaps that I don't know if are being intentionally engineered to block us from being able to build. The thought is around how you take it all out to go train
in service
of all these other models, so that we can then be kept as consumers of tools that are not built to understand our context. And we have brilliant minds, the Vukosis of this world, the Timnit Gebrus of this world. Timnit is from East Africa. Yeah, so we have brilliant minds with the capacity to think and build things, and there are ridiculous things that are blocking us. Access to compute, access to data as well, right? As a non-profit, people look at us and say, but you guys have been around for a while, you guys are successful. Nah, we struggle. The amount of money you have to spend
to collect data. Collect
the data, but then even the tokens you're using to use these AI systems, it's ridiculously expensive. How do you expect that NGO that's doing work to keep girls in school to make use of AI tools if they're so expensive? And so you'll have a dev coming up saying, hey, by the way, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and they're blocked. They can't. They literally can't. They can't afford the compute. They don't have access to the data whatsoever. They don't have the resources to leverage it. And then it starts to get you to think about, okay, let's look bigger. Let's look at the bigger picture. Is the environment that we're operating in conducive for us to do this kind of work? Are the policies that are being set in place now actually geared towards opening up doors that way? Are we coming up with strategies around how we create a pipeline of young people who will become builders of truly African solutions? Or we think about the best pathway to get them out to go and work somewhere else? All these companies are building their economies. You're seeing how the games the US is playing, EU and I remember listening to von der Leyen in Davos a few years back say how they've realized that they need to make it much easier for EU countries to collaborate with each other, that they need to reduce red tape so that they can become competitive in the space. Africans, what are we doing? You still have to apply for visas to move within African borders. Something as simple as that. We can't even trade properly amongst ourselves. How do we then even start to think about how we can truly build African AI in service of our challenges and our issues, so we can stop talking about the usual things all the time? Poverty, lack of education. How do we get ourselves to the point where we can say, We set up policies that will build education systems, that will train people's mindsets to be guys who we are here to build and solve our own problems, not expecting others to come do that for us. Nimekupeleka ona. I'm seeing where your
I
head
feel
is.
like we could have this conversation for the next hour. What's the solution?
Yeah.
Oh man, it starts with us. That's a hard answer. I started with all of these complaints and frustrations, and it's like, who are they directed at? Who am I expecting to come and do all of these things? It has to be us, right? And I think we also need to be comfortable with the fact that we are likely not going to be the beneficiaries of the work that we do.
No, we can't be doing this for us.
We are not doing this for us. We are doing this for the next generation. I want my kids, I want your kids, I want other children not to have to struggle the way we have. And so what does that look like? By the time they're leaving school, they need to find a conducive environment that will allow them to experiment, to get access to capital, to start businesses that can then grow into something. Not have startups that have been around for like 16 years because we still, like, scale is such an issue.
And not go out and beg.
Because
it feels like this system is designed in order for us to just be out there looking up like this. Nipatie.
And mind you, pesa iko. And that's the thing that I think, that was also the other realization I came to. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as poor nations.
We are not.
We are rich. Guys, there's a reason everybody's turning their eyes to our resources here. We need to figure out how to leverage them for ourselves. It's why when guys are talking about CBC and being worried about it, you need to pay attention. Because the people going through this education system, what are the mindsets they will have when they leave that system? Yeah? Are they going to be proactive thinkers? Are they going to be people with a mindset of we are building for here rather than I want to leave? Are they going to be the next generation of leaders who think about the common good rather than themselves?
Yeah.
And I know it feels like a big, it feels like a big weight to carry as individuals. And I still think we can progress.
We can.
Pole pole. You'll hear of like the people who wrote the national AI strategy in Kenya. Those are guys we know, right? People who said, we've come from industry to mechoka. How do we start small? Let's start by figuring out how we can shape the thing that will make it easier for us to do this work. Pole pole. How do you get other like-minded people? You guys in the creative sector are doing it. I don't know if you recognize how much change you are. It might seem small in the moment, but it's quite big. The way you're able to tie in creativity with an understanding of what's happening in our civic space and what that means for governance and how people are engaging. How many times have you guys sold out shows to Ali for Birds, Wangari Maathai, and all these others, and people are engaging? Keep at it. There's progress. You might not feel it in the moment, but it's moving somewhere.
Yeah.
It's moving somewhere.
I think one of the solutions, and you've said it rightly, is the weight feels heavy, but all of us play a part. So it's you playing your role, it's Mato playing their role. I can't even speak for myself.
You are.
No. We can talk this off camera.
But yeah, nonetheless,
I mean, busy being born.
Busy being born.
Kidding,
But
I'm kidding.
also, here's the thing. It all starts in the mind for me. It's mindset. And the fact that we're even having this conversation and that I've had this conversation with so many people in the recent past gives me hope. Because before we weren't thinking about it, before it was, serikali nisaidie, or this or that, but it's like, there's a level of discomfort that we're having that's driving us to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And that is progress.
Yeah. The right questions have been asked.
Yeah.
Bit by bit.
Yeah.
Bite by bite.
Yeah.
I think also the other solution, which is really, really important, is how people who are having these conversations, and you mentioned part of it, is how are we raising our kids? We can't raise our kids in the same way. We have to raise kids who are proud to be African, people who want the best of this continent, people who value each other and know that we cannot continue the same levels of subjugation that we've had, and they have a role to play.
Which is why education is so important.
It
It
is.
is. Guys, when you start to see the long game, it really does worry you, and you're like, we need to figure out how.
Scary.
It really is scary. Yeah, because when you think about it, the products of free education, Kibaki's era, those are the guys who are on the streets in 2024.
Walianguka nayo.
Walianguka nayo.
Yeah.
When you empower people with knowledge, you see what that does.
But now they realize that that was maybe not the right thing to do, because you're empowering people a bit too much.
Exactly. So now, exactly. That's what I'm saying, guys. We need to wake up. We need to wake up.
Okay. What are you excited about right now?
What am I excited about? Okay, Aki, you found me at a time when I'm so tired and jaded.
No, it's easy to feel that. It's easy to feel jaded.
Yeah. What am I excited about?
It does not need to be something big.
I know. I'm
Small
trying to find
joys.
even the okay. There's a few birthdays coming up.
Oh,
It's actually a new month. So yeah.
It is a new
Hey.
month. So mine is coming, and then Amy's is coming.
Yep.
That's my firstborn, so that's exciting. But I will also say, I think I'm excited about the work that we're doing at Ushahidi. Just because it has strands connected to everything that we've been talking about. I've been realizing that I with privilege comes a lot of responsibility. I get into some very big rooms in very big spaces. And that means that I need to truly represent Kenya and the African continent in the right way. And I feel like that's also what we're trying to do with Ushahidi now, which is take us through this next phase and show people the value of listening to people's perspectives and not ignoring unheard voices, and seeing how you can center that for decision making. That we can build truly African solutions from here that can serve a global audience, and we'll figure out how to make money around it and still keep the mission going.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting strand of work around how we can monetize insights from the data that we've helped people collect while doing it responsibly and ethically, that can go back into sustaining the open and free
Open source.
model, the open source.
Yeah.
I have one question about, it ties the professional and the personal.
Yeah.
So one of the big rooms I know you've been at is at the World Economic Forum at Davos. What's your self-talk before getting into those rooms?
The thing that I just said, I am going into this room knowing that I'm one of the few from the African continent who will be in the room. How do I show up in a big way? I can't go in and decide to be invisible. That is not what we're trying to do. I have to go in and figure out how to put our agenda on the table. Figure out how to do that. And it's taken a lot of growth over the years, having to shed whatever imposter syndrome tends to come in, shed this whole, I'm so grateful. We deserve to be in those spaces. We've done the work. We should be in those spaces. And there should be more of us, because there's more of us who are doing really good work. So it's shaped like the panel that I will go and speak at. Like this last time I did a session with Nigeria's minister. There was a Nigerian minister and an Ethiopian one, and someone from CNBC, and talking about Africa's job engine. So the Schwab Center for Innovation had done a research study on how the social sector, like what it contributes to our economies, and how we can make sure that we are supporting social enterprises, like how we're breaking down barriers in terms of access to flexible funding, or how we're creating conducive policies to enable that, or how Africa as a whole can try and break down those barriers so that your startup can scale beyond Kenya, that it can work in different spaces. And I was really happy with that. We had some interesting closed door meetings with ministers, young ministers from the African continent, talking about how do we keep putting this agenda on the table? How do we set up Africa to thrive, not just survive?
Yeah.
Like, what are those practical things we need to do? And having honest conversations on, okay, should we be getting into government? What does that look like? It's a very scary thought, but yes, looking at that, like, what does progress really look like?
Yeah.
So that's a mindset I go in with. It's how do we make ourselves visible? And in the event that we're not, how do we create our own tables?
Yeah. Quick follow-up question on that. The imposter syndrome and the confidence to get there and walk into that door feeling, I deserve to be here. This is not a favor. Sindio? Any tips on how you've managed to work through that over the years?
It's still it's still a work in progress. There are still points where it does pop up. One, there's someone who told me, like, sometimes it's like keeping a brag book or a brag document. Just note down, like, what are the things you've done. That's always a constant reminder of, hey, this is work that I've actually done. So there's a lot of like self-talk and self-motivation that needs to be in there. But I think you also need to surround yourself with the right people. You need a really good support system that will remind you at times when you forget. Because sometimes you'll be so plugged into, and someone just comes and reminds you, you're a big deal. Please accept it. Please accept your flowers. That's been important. And then therapy.
Okay.
Therapy. And then just constantly, I think with practice, like constantly putting yourself in those uncomfortable spaces and seeing how you go through that. Don't say no. Go in. Just do it afraid.
Do it afraid,
Do it afraid.
Every time tuna come to things you tell yourself and things you're thinking as you're getting into this room, I keep thinking about the closer, the things you tell the African people in a very short statement. And yes, of course, after we could always do another 2 or 3, but now that we're still there, besides the self-talk and you prepping yourself into these rooms, and the last couple of minutes have gone heavy on maze, what we can do as a people. But in the shortest statement, what would you say? And early examples you to me is on a t-shirt, if you're to write something to the people because you're speaking or not speaking in front of billions of them, what that would be. So in the shortest statement, what do you think you'd tell the people?
You're more powerful than you think.
Okay.
You are more powerful than you think.
Okay. Yeah. No, I had to put that there because that's where we are. That's where
really
we are.
apt, yeah.
That's where we are. Yeah, but any.
No, I think I don't want to spend a lot of time here because I feel like we could spend another hour or so just discussing the place of Africa in the world, especially because you and I share the opportunity of working with global tech companies, and have a lot of questions. A lot more understanding, a little more understanding of the place of the continent, and in the minds and in the books of the world, right? But we'll not talk about that. Let's talk about family for a bit. Yeah. What are the things that you learned from your parents that you think have been very useful in how you show up as a mother, a wife, a professional, especially at home? That's a core part of who you are, right? It's not your only identity, but it's a role that you play, and you play very well.
Where? I've learned so many things. Like I said, I learned how to take care of a home from my mom. She really did model that. She was, again, working mom. She also traveled quite a bit for work, but she was always there. She taught me what it looks like to balance presence and ambition, right? Like, there's no...
Clock it.
No, really. She never missed a birthday. She would do my hair. Like, back in the day, before I started going to Kenyatta Market to get braids, before I got my dreads, she would braid my hair from scratch because it was a thing she did for herself when she was in the USSR. She taught me how to cook. Like, I know how to, like, learning how to make breakfast at age 9 was a thing that she's the one who taught me. Something as simple as she's the one who taught Sam and I how to wash a baby. When Amy was born, we didn't have a nanny, and Mom worked at Kenya Pipeline at the time. And so we were living in Kilimani, and she would come from Lunga Road. She'd pass by our place. She'd help us wash the baby. Then she would boil bone soup for me, and then she'd go home. See that? She's still running things in the office, and she will still find a way to be present. That literally is what has shaped, I think, how I show up for the kids. Being generous and kind. See that community building you keep talking about? My mom is the same. Like, she's the estate gatherer in their hood. Like, I saw how she would bring people together, how she would feed them. The one thing she always told me, no one should come to your house and leave hungry. They should leave uncomfortably full. You've left uncomfortably full, right? I always give them like takeaway bags. It's like, miss back in a hood. Always. And it didn't matter whether because she didn't have a lot. She did not have a lot, but she always gave so much of herself. Just like, I didn't even realize how much I picked that from her until I see that now, and I'm seeing that with Tammy as well. Like, you give. And you're not giving with the thought that it has to come back. You're just giving because you genuinely care about other people. And that's been amazing. My dad taught me to go against the grain. I mean, I'm his only girl. I had my first drink with my dad. He taught me how to drive. He never made me feel like being an engineer was a thing that is unreachable for me. I was like, no, you've got this. You can do it. And he speaks with so much pride nowadays. It's like, me, I don't know how this, like, her ambition and everything. Just like, he has so much pride. And I don't think that he realizes that a lot of that is because he gave me the wings to fly. Because he didn't see me as just a girl. He saw me as me, his baby girl who could do anything. And he did whatever it is he could do to make sure that I would do that. And I see that with how Sam and I are raising the kids. So I mentioned that we are swim parents. Our girls train 5 days a week after school. To Naishi side of town, we drive to Syokimau every day for them to go for training. And it's hard work. Like, they do like maybe 6 kms in the water. And those kids do it. Like, you will see during galas, the way they push themselves, it's like it's a part of them to know that they can do anything they put their mind to. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Some will decide, I'm going to go with my girls, we're going to go sprinting, or we're going to go lift weights, because it's like, yeah. So, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Credit that to my parents.
Yo, man. You know, one of my favorite quotes from the language of Nairobi is Mbele iko sawa. And I think this conversation leaves me with that. You know, with people like you in points of leadership, with people like you, like parents, Mbele iko sawa. Mbele iko sawa, maze. Man, I've only just met you, but na celebrate everything you've done, and like your heart, your mind, all these are in the right place.
Thank you.
And keep going. And I'm sure there's so much resistance in so many ways, even from basic understanding. Unajua, like, at some point in the convo nilikuwa, maze, akia nani, tukimaliza hii episode tutaketi tujifikirie, which is what this platform was for. So thank you. And for constantly staying, unajua, busy being born.
We are busy. Work in progress. Maze. It's not, we're not done. We still have work to do on ourselves, for the world. If there's one thing that I hope people can say or think of us when we are done, we were good ancestors.
Mm.
That we were good ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What reading? What are you reading now? What book are you reading? / what book would you gift most to sort of serve as an inspiration to anyone who might be able to dive into it?
There's this book that I was gifted by, his name is Shuke Matsumoto. He's a young global leader, and he's a monk. Is it Working Like a Monk? I need to get you the right
Title.
It's the right title, but it's something about like working like a monk, and it's this conversation between a monk, a Buddhist monk, and someone who's leading, or at least helping to provide leadership guidance to different organizations, and tying in like Buddhist practices and how they apply in leadership today. Things like what active listening looks like paying attention to people's facial expressions, like not just listening to respond, and other things like that. Just, yeah, I would definitely give that to someone. And then there's another one on the art of negotiating, which was a book that I was gifted when we did a Harvard program on leadership a few weeks back in March, and just how we walk into negotiation conversations in our personal and professional lives, and rethinking that. Like one of the biggest light bulb moments from that one was when someone cares more about something more than you, pay attention to it and figure out how you can get them that. Your default is always, kitu yenye nataka. No, that's the thing I hold on to. It's like, no, think about how you give them that, because you'll then get something back
That
in
you
return.
care about.
Yes. Yeah. I'll give you the right names.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one is really interesting because it reminds me of the friendship between Thich Nhat Hanh and Martin Luther King. Yeah, so same.
Yeah.
Are you listening to Beyonce?
I listen to Beyonce all the time.
Hey, okay.
All the time.
So-
She's, yeah. But I listen to many things. So when Sam and I met, I was like into deep hard rock, soft rock. Same with him. The times I oscillate between that and like R&B, and then I'll go to amapiano. Times I'll go to classical. It really depends on my mood.
Okay.
It really depends on my mood. But
No,
yes.
the reason, of course, I asked is because of check up on it.
No, anytime I hear that song nowadays, I smile.
Good.
I smile.
Yeah.
I smile.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I bring it up just to say, I bet your bro is proud.
Oh, why must you cut onions at the end? I really hope he is.
Yeah.
I really hope he is.
Because we all are.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's training, by the way? Are you still at Alpha Fit?
I moved to Fast Power.
Fast Power.
Yes.
And it's a lot of powerlifting still.
It's how
Lots
we
of
stay sane.
CrossFit. Yeah.
It is how we stay sane.
Yeah.
So I'm on the days when I can, I'll be in the gym at 5 with Coach Elijah Ongeri lifting weights
At 5 a.m.
at 5 a.m.
Hey.
Mind you, niko kwa gym at that time, so nimeamka saa ngapi?
Well, good question, Maze. But
Yeah.
well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Keep at it. Stay busy being born, and Maze, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I receive those blessings. I take them. Thank you.
Can people reach out either to the different platforms you're on and to yourself?
Absolutely.
How can they hit you up?
So for me, my public profiles are mostly on like Twitter, LinkedIn. You'll see a lot of stuff there. Insta is that's my safe space for me and my people, unfortunately. But yeah, there with Ushahidi, you can engage with us anywhere on our website, on all of our socials. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here. I don't have to tell you this, but I don't think it's enough. I love you very much. You as a
Love you
person,
too.
you as a human being, you and your family. Really great friends. We are grateful for having you in our lives. And I'm sure anyone who's listened will sort of get a lot of value
I hope so.
from that. No, they will, absolutely.
Yeah.
First of all, we have, which is like why we do this.
Okay.
Yeah, you've inspired me a lot, because I don't think we talk at a very surface level around our vision for the continent and the things we're doing. But I think this gives me an opportunity to go deeper, for us to go deeper, and it's very inspiring.
Thank you.
Very, very inspiring. So thank you, and yeah, like Mato said, may you be blessed. May you continue to be blessed.
Thank
Asante sana for listening, for watching. Good to be back. I know it's been a few weeks of not having an episode out. We've been busy and productive, like you said at the beginning. Busy being born and being productive. And yeah, thanks for joining with us, and we appreciate you very much. Thanks for those who've reached out to ask what's happening, Bana. We are very, very grateful and honored. And yeah, may you be happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gents, you know where to hit us up. And this is?
At busybeingborn_. That's on X and on Instagram. And at the Busy Being Born podcast on Facebook. But more importantly, you can check everything out on our website, busybeingborn.africa.
Africa.
Hey.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Africa.
And you know, as you always say, if you're not busy being born,
Then you're probably busy not leaving.
come at it.
Okay, go do.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
That just felt
was
like a
dope.
convo.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Do look out for more from us. For now, Kwaheri.